Colombo, Sri Lanka for bilateral talks and to sign key agreements while his visit continues. This visit participation in the BIMSTEC summit in Thailand. This is the first foreign leader visit to Sri Lanka. Anura Kumara Dissanayake's win last year. 8 members are expected to be signed, covering energy, digital infrastructure, health and defense. Prime Minister Modi's visit aims to strengthen India-Sri Lanka relations and advance the comprehensive joint statement issued after Dissanyake's December 2024 visit to New Delhi. During his stay, Prime Minister Modi will meet opposition politicians, including Tamil representatives. One of the key issues discussed will be the fisheries conflict between Indian fishermen and Sri Lankan fishermen. There is also speculation about a possible defence pact to be signed. Ahead of Prime Minister Modi's scheduled visit to Sri Lanka from the 4th of April, Sri Lanka's Foreign Minister Vijitha Herath highlighted and the opportunities for the two countries. Joining me live on the broadcast is Megha Sharma, NewsX from Colombo. Megha, what is it that you can tell our viewers firstly about the crucial highlights of this particular?
But before I talk to you about the crucial highlights, that it's just a few hours from now, Modi would be arriving in Colombo. He would be at about 7:30 p.m., which is exactly the same time, at the same time zone in Sri Lanka. He will be arriving through Taj Samudra, which is in the heart of Colombo, which is at the Galle Face, which is a beautiful coastal line spread across 50 hectares. And in fact, there are people who are already arriving. Indian diaspora, which is as many in numbers, about 1 point in the country, are part of the pan. The cameras on the left hand side, and there you see there are stringent screening that takes place right now, because people have gathered. We understand it's just going to be, like I said, a few hours till the Prime Minister arrives. So there are going to be celebratory moments that are going to be very keen to meet the Prime Minister, whose arrival this time around in Sri Lanka, this is going to be the 4th time ever since Prime Minister Narendra Modi became the head of the state in 2014 that he arrives, and he will be meeting for the first time on the land of Sri Lanka the new president elected in 2024, Anura Dissanayake. So these are things that are going on. Like I said, there is heavy anticipation amongst the Indian community, who are dying to meet the Indian president, who is beloved all across the globe, and Sri Lanka is no different. Also talking to you about what the program is going to be today in the evening. There is a Sri Lankan traditional puppet show that has Prime Minister. This puppet show is actually going to reenact the very pious scene, which is Sundarkand in the Ramayana. There are going to be a couple of audio books surrounded to the Prime Minister. These audio books are actually the narration of the Panchatantra stories that we have in our childhood. Not just that, there are some other performances that are also lined up. There is a Hindustani classical performance, and there is a new tal, is what is being reported to us, that has been composed by a Sri Lankan national, and that Sri Lankan national would be over here, the classical singer would be over here to share his experience in this new creation of his. The Prime Minister will be spending about a couple of hours approximately before he retires to his hotel room, because tomorrow again are going to be it's hectic activities that are going to be taking place. So right from 9 a.m. onwards, he will be presented a ceremonial welcome by the President of Sri Lanka, Anura Dissanayake, and that is going to take place at the Independence Chamber over here at Galle Face itself. Galle Face, remember, like I said, it is a historical area coastal line up to 50 hectares, and this was actually a colonial setup that had been made back in 1959 by the then governor of Ceylon, as it was called, and since then there have been a lot of changes that we have seen in the infrastructure, in the socio-economic lifestyle of Ceylon, and then of course it was named to Sri Lanka as we currently know of it. But very important meetings, like I said, going to be lined up, and he was speaking about the MOUs, the agreements that are going to be signed between both the countries in the presence of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Dissanayake. One that stands out is of course the virtual inauguration that the Prime Minister does of the Sampur solar plant, which is the NTPC plant that has been, lying in the back burner for the last 20 years. Finally, inauguration does happen, so which means that the project will come to fruition in the next few months. Besides that, you already mentioned there is expected a defense deal that can take place between Sri Lanka and India. That is going to be the cynosure of all eyes. Besides that, there is debt restructuring, which India has been massively supportive of when it comes to providing financial aid, humanitarian aid in the last two and a half. In fact, even from the time of COVID, I think there are funds to the tune of $4 billion that India has already transferred to Sri Lanka during the time of its economic crisis, and those will be talks that are also going to be had between both the leaders.
Megha, at the same time, if you remember, President Dissanayake chose India as his first destination for a bilateral visit when he was sworn in as Sri Lanka's president. So clearly that was an invitation and indication from the current Sri Lankan government. How do you suppose India now plans on building on that momentum further?
Yes, it was a ceremonial visit of the President of Sri Lanka, as has been traditionally the case. Every single time the President of Sri Lanka is elected, the first state visit that is made by the head of the state is to India. So nothing exceptionally different about that. But here's the thing, the hiccup that India and Sri Lanka particularly faced in the last few months was, of course, we talk about the Adani deal. The wind power project that had to be set up in Munnar could not happen because of the surrounding controversies around the plant. Adani had to withdraw it. Before that, India was also concerned and raised protests over a number of these spy ships that Sri Lanka had allowed on its coast from the Chinese side, and to which Sri Lanka later on adhered to and decided to not stop the Chinese surveillance that was taking place in the Indian Ocean region after India raised protests. But talking about what are the new avenues that both countries can expand and forge further in terms of their trade ties, economic ties, people to people, and culture connect. It's interesting to note that just at the brink, just at the start of 2024, when the former president of Sri Lanka, Ranil Wickremesinghe, was at the helm of affairs, India and Sri Lanka had struck a deal that the UPI system in India is going to be implemented in Sri Lanka. So that's a great thing. And digitalization is something that has been the primary project led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi from the front. So those, like I said, amongst those 8 MOUs or perhaps more that are going to be signed today, digitalization and what are these other aspects of it that can be explored by both countries for Sri Lanka to take advantage of this public interface system is something that is going to be very important when the announcement comes, right at the time of the MOU being signed. Meanwhile, also defense cooperation is something that India and Russia and Sri Lanka, and for that matter the rest of the world, needs to keep a close eye on, because although there have been no arms sales that have taken place thus far ever between Sri Lanka and India, but there have been naval exercises that India and Sri Lanka Army take place on an annual basis. So these are that are obviously going to be explored. people to people connect. Business is something that is going to bind both the countries together, despite there may be some diplomatic tussles, or for that matter, the governments not seeing eye to eye. There was an issue that was raised about the Indian fishermen, the Tamil fishermen, and how they were in land of the Sri Lankans, and therefore the Sri Lankan authorities having to take stringent steps against them, arresting them, putting them behind bars, and so on and so forth. But the business community would bind both the countries together, because trade is important in wake of the global tariffs that we now witness, the war that has been announced by President Donald Trump. It is going to become more difficult for Sri Lanka to ensure that it carries on its recovery path. Something that it had been staggering, finding it very difficult, dragging its feet after the economic crisis of 2022. So will those trade tariffs that have been now announced on Sri Lanka going to persuade Sri Lanka to move its trade trajectory? And so also on the table. So these are the major aspects that are going to be the broad contours of the bilateral meeting between both the leaders. And of course, we have the foreign minister himself, who will also be arriving. So he will be meeting his Sri Lankan counterpart. So interesting times ahead for Sri Lanka and India, and more importantly, Sri Lanka.
Okay, all right, Megha, thank you so much for joining us. Well, viewers, that's all that we have time for. We will continue to bring more news updates from around